How you doing, everyone? Uh, is the sound okay? And the video, other than the, the image you're all dealing with. Hey, Clyde, how you doing, man? Apathy boy, Bruce. Hey, Stefan, good to see you. Dominic, hi. Rod, let's see what's going on here. Hi, John. And Aman, hi, Aman Reviews. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we're going to talk today about this morning anyway about you know what what has this pandemic wrought on the whole watch business. Uh, According to Matthew McCauley, who's his most of the watches that he deals with are Richard Millé's, and I think his fiance referred to him as Invictus for millionaires, which I know is sort of a funny title. Um, but he says business is really going well, and I thought about that, and there's by and large, in most places, you don't go down to your local AD and pick up a is it Roger Millie or something like that. Anyway, you don't go pick up one of those. You don't pick up an FP Jorn unless you're near one of the ADs or live in New York City or something. And so I thought, well, the maybe what one of the things the future may hold is uh, more people are thinking about getting stuff online. Oh, maybe so. Uh, so let's see what else is going on here. Um, I think it's hard to say that since it ain't over by a long shot. Clyde, I think you're right. As to quote Yogi Berra, it ain't over till it's over. I'm sort of looking at, given everything that sort of is in the pipeline. It seems very hopeful. Whether it is or not, we've gotten so much misinformation and so many just baloney that it's really hard to tell. So, but I think by this time next year, this is my prediction. A lot of this is going to be behind us. Right now, some states that were seemed to be had a pretty low rate have gone nuts. Poor old Florida, where you have that's where one of my watches is now getting service down in Miami, and Texas and California. California started off following all the rules. As soon as they loosened up, kaboom. So naturally, there's all kinds of weird stuff happening. Hey, Orange Hand, how you doing, man? Mark, hi, Mark, how are you? Geezer, hey, Geezer, good to see you. GMT Master, hi. We've also been in a recession that many governments have been trying their hardest to hide from the last couple of years. Sooner or later, it's going to be hitting the fan. You're probably right. Um, I don't know. We had, before this thing hit, for about the last 11 years, at least the United States, the economy had been going up and up and up. And for a lot of reasons, I'll put it that way. I think unemployment was way down because of the people, my age, they started retiring. It was, well into retirement age. And so suddenly you have all of these things that are opening up and they're scrambling like mad to hire people. And then all of a sudden, kaboom, we get hit by this and all kinds of stuff is going on. One reason that I think, as a group, I think this watch collectors, um, in a way, it's sort of like it's not going to be your next door neighbor. I don't have a single neighbor. When I was working, there really wasn't a group of people in my profession, university professors, who were really into watches. And the ones who were sort of interested to see if their watch was worth anything doesn't make up. But for the most part, they totally ignored what they had on their wrist. And so, some groups, it's not going to affect one way or the other. But then I think, the more I thought about it, watch collectors, here we are, we're stuck at home. God knows what's going to happen in the fall and winter. I just I shudder to think the economy is sort of sideways, upside down, and inside out. And I'm not even going to comment on that because there's so many different variables that go into it. All I know is that a lot of people got burned, and one of my sons, especially, is got hurt pretty badly. But it's not. I don't know. I think I don't want to sort of go on and on about this. What I want to talk about is okay, so bam, this whole thing is behind us. And so what's up? What's going to happen at watch collecting? I think watch collectors, at least with me, I sort of, gone on and on. We started passing this watch around, I think back in June or July, a little over a year ago. And it ended up 13 different people over a year, basically. That was the idea, that each of us would have it for a month. And that thing went off without a hitch, at least as far as I'm concerned. Some people had trouble reading the dial and this and that and the other thing. By the way, this is our Rolf Lang Canaletto Precise Gray. Excuse-moi. Hey, Lee and Blaine, how you guys doing? Desmo, BC, how are you today? Let's see. People are having to camp out on moss. There's a way to say it right. At fairgrounds to have a chance of getting their unemployment claim. Yeah, that's another thing too. Good God, it's rough. Hi, Rod. Oh boy. So let's see. Hardest hit are 60 plus. My people. They've got let's see. Governors are the first one to catch it. He's still reluctant to require a mask. I don't know. It's like I have masks. I carry in my car. When my wife and I go for a walk, we put them on our wrists, because we're out sort of in the sticks. And there's not a lot of, if we see somebody coming the other way and, we put them on for that. But man, I tell you, I don't like wearing a mask more than anybody else, but I wear them. I mean, when I have to, when I'm around other people, you better believe it. It's just not, it's like all of this stuff. There was something I posted back in January or February when this whole thing started. So this is what we got to do. And of course, they were turning it into something, nothing's going to happen. 808. 808. I don't get it. Okay. Our governor is still the first one to catch it. Yeah, let's see. It doesn't matter what they wear, they will still get robbed because robbers know they are rich. Okay. Didn't the WHO say no evidence the world? No, they didn't, Blaine. They didn't. Okay. They said, there was some confusion about it because I think there was a lot of political pressure for nothing's going to happen way back when. But look at South Korea. They stopped it cold, and they're getting their economy back. But see, this is the kind of stuff people say, oh, didn't WHO say that? No, that's not true. There's a lot of junk information, a whole lot of junk information. We got junk politicians and junk this and junk that. And we got nervous, epidemiologists. So let's, I don't like it. I mean, who likes wearing a mask? I don't like it, but I wear them, period. That's it. If I go out to other people, I sort of like what I'd rather do. And this was sort of getting back to watches, if we may. Yeah, I'm playing with my watches. Hi, Tim. How you doing, man? So it's like when this whole deal is over, I really look forward to heading for New York and going to all of the watch shops on Madison Avenue and Fifth Avenue, mostly Madison. My favorites are there. I had an epiphany today. Watch collecting is a new smoking. Didn't realize it, but I went deep into the hobby right after quitting smoking. Is there a patch for this? Yeah, it's called Another Watch. One of the things I think I've taken a lot of this time, I've probably taken more time than I normally do, is to find out more about watches. That was why yesterday, the video that I had talked about, certain things that you really don't get with the mass producers. Um, One of the things that totally freaked me out that I saw yesterday, Mont Blanc is one of these brands that I've been sort of rooting for. They're owned by Richemont, and the reason I've been rooting for them is that I've seen other luxury companies like Hermes. Hermes come out with some fabulous watches. Hermes went in and they bought 25% of Vaucher. They did all of these great things to move from basically a fashion brand into a very cool, serious watch company. So I was hoping the same thing. So Mont Blanc gets Minerva, really great, and and so they came out with three new watches that I saw. I was reading about them, and so two of them, one had a true in-house Mont Blanc. That was a Mont Blanc. One had a Minerva, which is really, I like those a lot just to look at them. And the third one, they call it an MB something or other, but it was a Sellita 201. Sellita, but the worst part, it was in gold. So they're going to jack up the price. I mean, it's sort of like putting a mink coat on an armadillo. I mean, like, here you got this beautiful watch, they had a beautiful design, and then they put in this crummy movement in it. Not crummy, but relative to what they put it in. Same thing happened to me with my El Lara. I love that El Lara, but every time I thought about the uh, ETA 7001 they put in it and didn't tell me about it, drove me crazy. You hear a sound going, I don't know. I don't know whether it's outside. We've got air conditions going left and right. Um, we've been having really hot weather. Okay, I think economic collapse will be hanging over our heads like the sword of Damocles until a vaccine is developed. Yeah, that's one thing that one of the reasons I wanted to talk about what next today is that it does look like the vaccines are sort of on several of them are on the right track. Oxford University had been working on one for the last 4 years, and so they were sort of ahead of the game, and they've come out with a number. They have human trials. Things seem to be really moving along. That's one bright spot, and I think once they get it approved, the worst thing they could do is these. They want to fast track it. Well, who can blame them, right? The trouble is with fast track, suddenly you find out that, oh, it works great, but you grow a tail, or something weird like that happening. And none of us want that. And it's, I don't want to sort of moan and groan about that. It's really sort of like, what's going to happen to the watch collection? I don't know. We'll see. I think one of the problem. All right. Yeah, Blaine, CBS News had that. They had a lot of stuff, and I don't know where they were getting that from. And this is back in April, okay? and but there is evidence. It's not so much that's gonna prevent you from getting it, okay? In other words, you're sitting around with your mask on and some old COVID comes sneaking into your face somehow. That's not what it's for. The what it's for is that the way COVID is transmitted is it comes out of your mouth or maybe your nose, your eyes. I don't think so. It's if anybody coughs, boom, that's how this stuff is moved. It doesn't, COVID doesn't have wings or feet or anything else. I did a little video on that, by the way. And what the mask does is keeps it from spreading. And you've seen it work. It's not a matter of whether CBS got it right. It's a matter of what happens when they use them, and it was a good thing. Yeah, it just takes one infected, Clyde. You're right, and this is the bad thing about it. Now, like I said, I'm not, cheering away that this is a good thing, but I mean, like, there's no other way that this disease can spread other than by little droplets that get pushed out of people's mouths and nose and so forth and hands. That's all it is. Um, so if you don't want to, don't come near me. I'll put it that way. I avoid people like that. They got all the answers. And here we see this spread that's crazy. Oh, they don't do any good. Then you see them used in nations where they've gone down. And so anyway, let's like I said, let's talk about sort of when this is over, because we don't know, but we can postulate on it. I'll put it that way. Hey, Mr. Gumby and Andy Candy, how you guys doing? Hey, John. Well, one good thing for me, I've had a watch on eBay for over a year with a few followers. Since the pandemic, a lot more followers and possibly a sale. People at home scanning eBay, I guess. John, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, John. And I think this is why Matthew said things were going really well. Okay, got the wife to get me a Tudor 58 blue for anniversary. Should pick it up Monday. Okay, good, good. Hey, Al. Okay, let's see. Come to think of it, I miss my office for the same reason. Family free watch shopping. That's a good one. It really is. Hands up who doesn't have deep seated psychological issues. Well, you know, um, this is one of the things they seem to be really worried about. And there's, I guess, the more social one is, the better. Hi, Kaz, how you doing? Jack Forster says every watch collector has a hole in their heart that they fill with watches. I think they also may have a hole in their head that they fill with watches. Hi, DGB. How are things in the UK? Singapore. Let's see. Um, Vestron Vintage Sports Exhibit looks cool. Small but cool. Yeah, Caswell said Moser's in a class by itself. One of the things I wonder if certain brands that have sort of been not the most popular are, with the pandemic, people really have a chance to look around and stuff, and they're not running down to their local AD and seeing nothing but, the usual suspects, which is, Rolex and Breitling and some of these other ones. The best watch for sale on our mall is a Breitling. So that'll tell you what kind of shape we're in. Do you have a pickup truck? I used to. You could totally fit in it down here right now. A pickup truck. I used to have a pickup truck. I had the worst pickup truck in the world. It was terrible. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. I wanted a good pickup truck, and I got a terrible one, and I had it for a few years. But I do like pickup trucks. Now, if you live in Texas, you got to have a cracked windshield in your pickup, and it shows you've been there for a while. Hey, Johnny, I got a beautiful watch cases on eBay, which normally wouldn't have access to. 750 and Zenith Elite. Very nice. Hey, Desmo, just picked up the Force Steinhardt, the last one on the Steinhardt Apollo one. Desmo, BC, Steinhardt is one of those ones I really like. You buy a Steinhardt, they give you everything. They give you all the information about it, and that's all I've ever asked for. You know, like that stupid thing that Mont Blanc had. Um, God, they got this Mont Blanc Heritage and had A, B, and C was the green one, really beautiful. But they didn't mention that it had a Sellita SW200 in it instead of and it's in a gold case. What do you think it's going to cost? That thing's going to be running up over 10,000, I bet. So you got a Steinhardt. You even find out what it's like with and without the VAT, which is I think is great. Pandemic may have given the coup de grace to international yearly watch shows. Oh boy, yeah, the gun rack too, and a rifle, shotgun in the rear window. There you go, Blaine. I saw. I more. I don't know. When I was much younger, I used to go shooting up everything. I quit. Let's see. Big trade shows died a long time ago. They're maybe 5% of what they used to be. Too expensive. Hey, William Rizzo, how you doing, man? Have you seen the new Brigade Blue Dials? So I think I did. And I really like it. The thing I like the most, though, I'm sort of going back. I think it was called. Let me see. There's this, and I'll tell you why I like it so much. Where is it? It's another brigade. It's called a 13. Let me see if I can find it. Whoops. That's it. Now here it is. It's called the 3130. The Brigade 3130. Boy, do I like that watch. And I'll tell you why. The only downside of it, I think, is a little smaller. It's 36, maybe. It might be 38, I'm not sure. But that was the one that really brought Brigade back from oblivion. Okay. And that's, and it was, the whole thing was done by Daniel Roth when Brigade was owned by Chayumé. Hey, let's see. My kids, we have lamenting about missing Schwartz's. Man, a cold black cherry and massive smoked meat sandwich is pure happiness. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's roughest on kids. It really is. And I know kids want to go back to school and everything else. My grandkids, I know, certainly do. But it just ain't too safe to do so. Are bears still active in your woods? Yeah, we had a visit yesterday. I have to get a picture of him for you guys. There's this bear. He's a big one too. He comes in the middle of the day, and this is what is unusual. He came in about right around between 11 and 12 o'clock. Bright day. My wife puts out water for the birds and any other critter who needs water. Well, the bear decides it's his water. So he comes in, he breaks the fence. And so the fence looks like this now, comes marching up there, drinks all the water that the other critters had, knocked the bowl over because he's clumsy, didn't find anything else he wanted, and left. But what they do is that they'll knock down the fence in one place to come in and then knock it down somewhere else on the way out. And so our fence is totally, so there's my bear story. And we just yesterday too. This may be the first time in history when all kids wanted to go back to school. I think you're right. I don't blame them. When I got, especially being around your parents all the time, getting told what to do, they had I think the philosophies of parenting has changed since when I was a kid. I didn't want to have anything to do with them, period. All I want to do is go out and play with my friends. That was all I cared about. And that was what I did. It was like, and they never were like touchy feely, but in a sort of a phony way. It was just sort of like you're a kid and you're supposed to do what you're told, and that was it. And they were bigger than I was, and period. But boy, I tell you, yeah, I did like school because that's where I saw my friends. I mean, you had most of us sort of lived together. I mean, around the same neighborhood, we'd hang out. But man, I tell you, it's rough. I think it's even rougher on high school kids starting college. How would you like to be starting college with dreams of wild parties and brilliant minds and all of this stuff, and kabam, you have to stay at home. My son is a professor out in California, and they had started a hybrid program some years ago because traffic in LA is so bad, and he's at one of the giant Cal State colleges in LA State, and he said that the traffic, he said that, kids are spending 2 hours in traffic both ways. And, there's a certain time of day in LA, you just don't move. So, they started having these hybrid classes. They don't have to come in once a week. Well, now they had developed all of these. And so now they're in great shape because all they got to do is, after watching your video on Hamilton watches, I purchased a Hamilton khaki officer that was with a hand wound ETA 6497. I absolutely love that. That 65. See, the thing is that this is about getting to know watch movements. In the 64, 98, 97, I use them all the time. In fact, I just so happen to have one here. I want to show you guys something. This is one I had. Whoops, sorry. This is one with a Chinese knockoff of one. And the reason I use Chinese knockoffs is that I break them, not on purpose. But I got a new band for this, and it totally transformed it. I had sort of a yellow tan band before, and this thing is, look how thick that band is. Big old thick band and a big old watch. I don't know what I'm going to do with this watch. All of my kids and all of my relatives have watches that I've gifted to them. I don't think they want any more. Let's see. Do bears have mental breakdowns? The bears are like, at least our bears are, because we stay behind a steel door or something when the bears come to visit. We don't go out and hang out with the bears. But I think the bears would be perfectly willing to. Hey, hey, what's going on? Hey, would mind to bring a little thing of suet, and we'll have some suet and talk, and the bears be glad to visit. They're very nothing bothers a bear. Look how big they are. They come in and there's a fence. They just knock it down. Hey, fellas, we also have wild turkeys all over the yard. And so the wild turkeys come in and they go through the holes in the fence that the bears made. So there's sort of a symbiotic relation between our wild turkeys. Oh, boy. Ever been to Katz's Deli in New York City? It holds a candle. I haven't. Top tier brands will continue to make their super exclusive pieces to cater to the 1% who are immune to economic pressures. Yeah, and they're still in high demand. I was looking today. Somebody sent me an email with a Vacheron Constantin on it, and it's sold at a Phillips auction recently, and they had thought that the watch would go for between 20 and 30,000. It went for 106,000 for Vacheron Constantin. I thought, my God, this is crazy. I can't even think about FP Journes anymore. And both of the ones I had bought were pre-owned. At the time, they were still expensive. but now they're over the moon. They just, I don't know what happened, but they, they're ones that used to, you could find a used one, even a new one. You'd be able to pick up a new uh, Chronomet Blue for about um, 22, but now they're up to 40 something, and that's on the used market. And if you can get them, crazy, crazy. Uh, we're all referring to Bear Clooney. There were a certain group of people who went and hid out in Argentina back in the mid 40s, mid to late 40s. There's also a group hiding out in Canada that Bear knows. Oh boy, let's see. Uh, VC Corey. Hey, let's see. Phillips actions and money laundering. Yeah, Stefan, I think you're right. I think that's exactly what's going on. I got to get into that. um, they have. I understood a while ago. A guy who used to uh, work at Vessel and Constantin, and then ended up at Philips, was mentioned that a lot of the money behind Richemont is your Russian oligarch money. Now somebody's making money, and I would imagine that money laundering coming out of someplace like Russia right now is problematic. I don't know. No sites on anything. ATM trying to hold on. We got to get you up to Montreal one day and taste the greatest deli anywhere. God, Montreal has the best brunch place ever. Okay. Simon, what's up? They closed the waiting list on the Chrono Blue, so I found out recently. Yeah, that they have. I don't know why that thing is crazy. I am perfectly happy with a Platinum CS, and I know that sounds extravagant, and it is. But so are the watches we buy. But that thing, what I paid for it now, it's gone up about, good grief, I don't know, 10,000, and then my resonance went up about 50,000, and that's not an exaggeration. Oh well. Hey, Major Lucifer. Hello. Please, can you buy webcam full HD? Oh man. Major Lucifer. Sorry, I've got maybe maybe that'll work. I don't know. The problem, Major Lucifer, isn't the camera. If I got a really high HD camera, I don't know why anyone would want to see me any clearer, but the I think it would my bandwidth would get choked off. Back in the early 2000s, when they were first developing streaming video, I used to write code for it, and it was right from the beginning, early on, and we had a heck of a time. And I had used an HD video camera and got these incredible shots, but it just the bandwidth never held when I did that. So I don't know. This is a built-in one I'm using. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, you guys are talking about food. Okay. Geezer, I know a moron, only one, who not only passed on a slightly above MSRP CB and some really cheap CS a couple of years ago. That moron is me. You know, the all of us have brilliant hindsight. When I got my watches, and I still believe this. Hi, EPFRA, RFA, FRFA. Anyway, the thing is that you never know. Uh, I got if you buy a watch, I think, and I still believe this, if you buy a watch because it's got good stuff in it that you like, you enjoy it, it'll never lose value because the value you're talking about horological value. If you buy for monetary value, maybe you can make a little money. And the way to make a little money in the watch business is start with a lot of money. Anyway, hey, Danger Will Robinson. Um, yeah, you know, I the Chronomet Blue was designed and developed and everything to be an entry level watch. When I got my Chronomet Surveying, there was basically three choices. One was the platinum, one was the gold, one was the blue. And I don't know. I thought, well, gee whiz, if I can have a platinum one, I don't have a platinum watch. Why not get that? And I had a good buy on it. And the guy selling it was, yeah, gave me a heck of a good buy. And, I've never looked back on that. The blue is much sportier, the kind of thing I think with, a little more rugged use and so forth than the gorgeous watches. But I like mine. And also, too, the blue doesn't come with a power reserve indicator, but I'm not putting it down for that. Neither does the Holland and Holland, which is like one of my very favorites. So, you got um, the, there was this guy the other day. It wasn't long ago. This is a couple of weeks ago. I was telling me about he found a CS. Forgot. I think it was a Havana. I think it was. I forgot what it was. I think it was around 31 or something like that. But he decided he knew how to haggle, and he haggled until somebody else bought it. So you got to be careful about that. I don't know. Right before like a week before, I decided to wake up the kids early on a Saturday morning and take them to Fairmont Bagels. Glad I did it. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Some crazy good deals to be had 60% off on Swatch Group products. Oh, that's good. New York Woodbury location, only store name, store hour, passion. Hmm. Hey, Daniel K. Um, the pizza you guys are talking, John. I, how do you make a small fortune in a watch? Yeah, start with a large one. Exactly, John. Well, listen, guys, I'm over my allotted time, and so I got bear duty, so I'm gonna have to run. Uh, we'll be talking about some more of this afternoon at 4 o'clock New York time or Eastern savings time. Everyone, take care. Adios.